Let's move right on and bring on board our team of research analysts as well as Ashish Kayal and Sonal Parmar on the technicals as we get you a crisp and decisive roundup of all of the stocks that you need to keep on your radar. Let's begin then with the OMCs, all of them under pressure in trade today, Needu.
Some of the top losers in Nifty today as oil gains, crude prices on a rise as US has been pushing the other countries not to import oil from Iran, as well as there is an uncertainty in the output from Libya. So that is the reason stocks, these OMCs are under immense pressure, and these are the top Nifty losers in trade today.
Yes, put your finger on any of them and they're grinding lower. In fact, we're talking about a 6.5% move on the downside for HPCL. Keep an eye out on that. Clearly, it's the oil marketing companies drowning in trade. Meantime, Adani Enterprises is a stock that's too seeing immense selling pressure. Let's find out what the technical charts indicate. Ashish, is this a complete avoid?
Absolutely. See, the overall trend for Adani Enterprise had been negative from the levels of 20. The stock has been in a downtrend and there is still no
Okay, unfortunately, we seem to have snapped that. The view is that the stock can retest 110 on the downside and 130 is the short-term resistance. Use a pullback as a shorting opportunity. That's 8% down on Adani Enterprises. Well, the markets are falling hard and fast, so let's find out all of the buzzers. 1% too is under quite a bit of pressure, Karunya.
Absolutely, and believe it or not, Avan, we're on the last leg of the first quarter and they are yet to deliver their Q4 earnings report card, and that is expected today. Now, do remember that the statutory auditors, Deloitte, had quit, stating reasons that the management was unwilling to provide material information required for the audit. They got a new auditor on board and they are likely to give out their Q4 report card today, and that's what is putting a fair amount of pressure. The stock, in fact, has cracked 8% in just 2 days.
Okay, down and out for Manpasand Beverages, a clear thumbs down as the auditors had quit before announcing of their numbers. Moving right on, let's pull up a stock that made its debut today on the bourses, and that is Solara Active Pharma. In fact, the stock made its debut around that level and it continues to remain quite subdued in trade today at 251. Remember, this is the demerged API business of Strides and Sequent, which has listed, and remember, Strides has sold the chemical stake to Solara. A listing not on the best days as well, given that the rest of the market is down and out. That's Solara Pharma 251. Moving right on then to one of the banking stocks that's clearly struggling in trade. It's a lot of them which are in the red, but Syndicate Bank really stands out as a top drag, Siddharth.
Absolutely, Avan, and we are seeing selling pressure, intensifying. Look at the market breadth clearly in favor of declines. And Syndicate Bank is leading from the front when it comes to banking space, not just PSU but the entire banking lot. And we are seeing 15% rise in open interest, but that would be predominantly because of expiry. But the stock has given its support of 42, and volumes in both the segments are pretty high.
All right, watch out for this one. Clearly at the low point of the trading day, holding on to 40 as we speak. Moving right on, let's find out what's going on in the mid-cap IT space. And Cyient is a stock that seems to be bucking the trend quite firmly. Sonal, let's understand what the call is on Cyient right now. Are you betting big?
See, today the chart pattern is showing positive side, and it is showing a kind of higher bottom formation on the chart with a bullish RSI divergence. So I feel one can hold long position with 712 as a stop loss, and a good higher upside can be possible, and above the level of 755 rather I can say the momentum can be stronger in the stock.
Okay, keep an eye out on the Cyient. It's clearly a thumbs up coming in based on the technicals. IDBI Bank, meantime, in tandem with the rest of the markets, Neelu, is having a fairly rough day.
Definitely, Avan, as IDBI, there's been reports coming out that LIC might be increasing its stake, 31% stake in the bank. Currently, LIC has around 11% stake in the bank, and it plans to increase its stake. But the route or maybe the road ahead for LIC does not seem to be very easy. So that is the reason you can see that IDBI Bank is under immense pressure, down around 6.5%.
All right, that's IDBI Bank for you, continues to remain a newsmaker. Meantime, let's focus in on CARE Ratings. That stock is in focus. on the back of some fund activity, Karanya.
Oh yes, in fact the stock has recovered really smartly from its recent close, about 8% surge that it has seen from the low point of just a few days ago. But yes, Dhando India fund has bought about 2 lakh shares in the company at a price point of 1188, and look at the rally that the stock has seen. It's now at 1259.
Yes, indeed, that stock seems to be looking quite smart on the back of that fund activity. Moving right on, let's take it right back to the banks, and it's SBI that's in focus. They're on the radar of Credit Suisse. In fact, the brokerage has gone on to maintain an outperform rating with a target price of 322. They believe that the earnings will remain muted in the near term, but that the bank is likely to see additional equity that will support their growth. Down, but not as bad as some of the rest of the banks, off by 1.5% at 263. That's SBI for you. Moving right on then to REC, a lot of these stocks are under pressure in trade today. What exactly is the derivatives data indicating for REC? Siddharth.
Aman, if you look at entire space, as you are pointing out, be it PFC, REC, PTC, even some of the power sector names from private as well as from PSU space, all these stocks are under pressure. And in the related space, REC is not doing well today. We have seen huge volumes in the stock in futures segment despite its being expiry, and we are witnessing that 107 support has been breached decisively and stock is moving down further.
Down and out at the low point of the day, that's REC for you, languishing in today's session. Meantime, let's understand what's going on with some of the other mid-cap stocks. We're flagging off all the buzzers in trade. EID Parry is really having a spectacular move in today's trading session. In fact, as we speak, the stock is perched higher by almost 8%. Ashish, what are the technical trends showing? Is this kind of momentum here to stay?
See, the overall trend for EID Parry has turned out to be positive after a long time. Stock has taken support near around 208 to 210 zone, and there is a possibility we can see a move back towards 240 on the upside. So one can initiate long positions, but any aggressive trader should take the trade because it's opposite to the medium term trend, and create long positions keeping 210 as a very strict stop loss and expecting target of 240 level.
Can go long on this stock. It's clearly an optimistic view coming in on EID Parry that's flexing its muscles. Target price 240 rupees. In fact, as we speak, the stock is only moving from strength to strength. Moving right on then, what's also gaining in trade is Hexaware. What exactly is going on with the currency and the correlation for some of these IT companies that are having a field day? Neelu.
Well, Hexaware is on a roll. It has been gaining for the second consecutive day, and it's hit 52-week high on both the days. And you can see that not only Hexaware but all IT companies are buzzing in trade today, as the rupee has weakened quite a lot, and that is working in favor for these companies.
Okay, keep an eye out. That's the view coming in on the currency, clearly having an impact for some of the IT companies favorably. Meantime, Fortis Healthcare, of course, on the radar. It's trading sub its 50 and 100 daily moving average, and of course the news on the results and then that audit report. Fill us in, Karanya.
Oh yes, it is primarily because of these two factors. The stock has recovered from the day's low point, but it's still very much in the red. The losses have really widened, the margins have taken a hit. Of course, like even Pankaj has been telling us, the results are not really comparable. But talking about the report by Luthra and Luthra, that one has been submitted to the government and to SEBI. The company will be appointing an external agency to undertake further scrutiny in the company and what's really happening as far as the corporate governance goes, as far as the financials go. Talking about the Singh brothers as well, there's been an update. The fund recovery from Singh brothers from the alleged fraud is in the process, and the payments to be made to erstwhile executive chairman. So these are some updates that we got as a result of yesterday's board meet.
Okay, that's the latest coming in on Fortis Healthcare, but NBCC is really having a rough day in today's trading session. In fact, we connected with the management and we spoke to them today, and they were acknowledging the fact that their FY18 profits were hit this time around largely on account of the one-time pay revision. Although they're fairly confident going forward, they believe that they will see a recovery in earnings. In fact, they say that the 30 to 35% top line growth is what they're penciling in over the next 5 years. They're keeping their execution timelines very strict and very confined, and that they will see a recovery. But it looks like investors aren't really buying into that. Let's hear our Anup Kumar Mittal, Chairman Managing Director of NBCC, talking about the trajectory going forward.
order book is very high, and in comparison to that, the execution or revenue is not coming in the books. That's right. But you see, in last 6 months or 8 months, we have started some of the large value projects, and these all large value projects take some time for approvals and award of work, etc. And to compensate that, we have kept the completion period very confined to 2 years or 18 months time.
Okay, that is Anup Kumar Mittal talking about how they will see a recovery. 73.5, that's where NBCC is at. Moving right on to the ADAG packet, and let's pull up a Reliance Capital then in trade. How is that stock trading? Well, no surprises to see that too is struggling in today's session. At 395, what is the derivatives data showing, Siddharth?
Well, after 2 weeks of consolidation, this stock has breached that range on the lower side. As you mentioned that, there has been, selling pressure. And if you look at the stats, then we are witnessing, some formation of short positions. Nevertheless, we are in an expiry week. But then this breach of consolidation on the lower side with high volumes and formation of short positions may ensure that there might be a further downside in this stock.
Okay, that's Reliance Capital for you. Short formations in the future segment. Well, stay with us, everyone. We're sipping into a short break. On the other side, we'll be flagging off a whole host of other stocks that you need to watch out for. Back, this is Market Fatafat. That's our team of research analysts and technical guests ready to give you all the buzzers in trade. So now let's talk about Jubilant Life. In fact, wanting to understand how exactly you're looking at this name on the charts. Do you believe that there is more steam to go, that we can see the stock pick up? Sonal, your view on Jubilant Life?
See, Jubilant Life today it is forming positive candle. So we can say it is a short-term pattern. Overall, I feel on the higher level again it will face the selling pressure. The RSI is showing the bullish divergence by double bottom formation, but medium-term trend is negative. It is trading below all the moving averages, and secondly, the lower top, lower bottom sequence of swing is still there. So medium-term trend is definitely negative for the stock.
Medium-term trend looks fairly negative for a Jubilant Life. Meantime, Voltas, that stock has quietened out a little bit but continues to remain a newsmaker, and it's on the brokerage radar, Neelu.
Well, Voltas, there were news doing rounds yesterday that Tata Sons are likely to divest their 9% stake in the company. Currently, they hold around 26.6% stake in Voltas, which made made the Voltas go correct yesterday. But right now, it's again flat in trade.
Okay, that's Voltas for you. Absolutely lying low in today's trading session. That's the clarification that's come in from the management. And remember, it's also on the brokerage radar. Jeffries has said that the June numbers will benefit from the low GST base effect. Most of the concerns are priced in. They've got a buy with a target at 795. Moving right on to the world of auto then, and M&M is looking at some strong expansion plans after the disappointment from Tata Motors. It's looking positive for M&M, at least by way of commentary, Karnanya.
Yes, it is, but unfortunately, it's not really reflecting on the price of the stock or the move it's seeing today. But the management commentary was fairly upbeat. They did an investors' day at their Nagpur facility, wherein they spoke specifically about their farm equipment and tractor business, the opportunity they see, the kind of expansion that they're looking at over the next couple of years. In fact, they also highlighted the fact that they're looking at expanding their market share from the current 42-43% to 50% in the domestic business. So clearly, domestic business is something that they're betting in a very big way and wanting to grab half the market share that is there in the country. And even for the global business, they're looking at expanding fairly largely in the farm equipment space.
There you have it. That's M&M for you, charting out a very strong growth plan. But today is not the day that most of these stocks are reacting. Quiet at 896. Keeping the countdown going, Mindtree sure is a newsmaker today. Why? Because reports are indicating that the founders are looking to sell their stake to NEC Corp of Japan as well as some PE firms. In fact, we understand that Neocorp is in initial talks to acquire controlling stake in the company from the founders. Remember, the promoters own about 13.3% stake. That's valued at about 2,000 odd crores. The rest of the stake is with the public. So this move would help the company to have a strong backing, win bigger deals as well. This is just something that's a news report, no confirmations as yet. Moving right on to HUL, and what a smart mover. Clearly bucking the trend, cushioning, one can really cushion the fall with a stable name from the FMCG packet. In fact, we should pull up HUL right now. Siddharth seeing some great moves.
Yep, you said it, and FMCG space doing pretty well. HUL, bellwether of the sector, at all-time high. And who says we are in a dull market or a boring market? HUL doing pretty well for itself. Volumes are already at 1 week high when it comes to cash market. And whether you like high valuations or not, people are talking about higher valuation in FMCG space and especially Hindustan Unilever. But that's not deterring the stock, and it is making new all-time high with very strong volumes.
That's HUL for you, sitting pretty at 1642. Moving right on to Tech Mahindra, that too is having a field day. Let's find out, Ashish, what exactly your view is based on the chart patterns.
See, the overall trend for Tech Mahindra had been bullish. The stock was consolidating over past few days, and I think it's going to give a very strong positive breakout. It has taken a good support above the 50 days average, and we can expect the stock to rally towards 740 levels on the upside. Keep 680 as the important stop loss on the downside, and the overall IT theme is going to play out in 2018. I think it is the year for IT companies, and one can look forward to go longs on stocks like Tech Mahindra, Hexaware, TCS, and this kind of stock.
Okay, keep an eye out on Tech Mahindra. That's looking good in trade today. A buy from Ashish. Meantime, what's the HSBC view on Biocon, Neelu?
Well, Avan, they have initiated coverage and they are very positive on this stock. They have upgraded their stance from hold to buy, and in fact they have upgraded their targets as well from 536 to 715. And plus they believe that Biocon continues to make strides in biosimilar space, and that's the only player which has all the FDA approval for all the key biosimilars. And plus Biocon looks to set to gain from favorable push in for biosimilars market in US as well as Europe.
Okay, there you have it. That's the word coming in from HSBC. Target 715. Moving right on then, let's also pull up IMFA, that's in focus and cracking in trade today, Karanya.
Oh yes, it is. They just uploaded an announcement on the exchanges saying that there's a protest happening by agitators which has disrupted their operations at the Terubali plant, and that's exactly why we're looking at the stock suddenly come under massive pressure and they move on.
Okay, that's the latest coming in on the stock. Moving right on, let's keep the countdown going, and it's that's IndusInd Bank. That's the newsmaker in trade today, and largely the reason being that the bank is looking at a definitive share purchase pact with IL&FS. This is to buy 100% of IL&FS Security Services. As of now, there's no detail on the overall fund infusion, but this move, according to the bank, is going to help to scale up their present capital market business. So betting big there, and the stock though is looking a little bit muted in tandem with the rest of the markets. Bharti Infratel then, let's pull up that stock because it clearly is bucking the market trend. Siddharth, looking smart.
Yeah, in fact, fourth consecutive day of upside, and the stock has been in a downward trend, Dhawan, and last 4 trading sessions move seem to be changing that trend. Formation of long positions, high volumes, all these things suggest that probably the trend is changing in this one.
Watch out for Bharti Infratel clutching onto 300. Moving right on then, let's keep it with BPCL. That too is under pressure. All of the oil marketing stocks are struggling, Sonal. What's your take?
Yeah, as you rightly said, because of the rising crude prices, OMCs are facing pressure. BPCL has moved, 22 sessions low level, and now it has entered to a gap up area, which it has created on 28 May. So it was a long pending gap, and I feel further downside pressure can be possible on the stock. So one can hold the short position in the stock with trailing stop loss.
Okay, that's BPCL for you, and further downside is on the cards. Meantime, it is definitely not the best of days for Sun TV. Pardon me, the stock is managing to show you some fervor in trade, up by about 0.5%. What's the outlook, Neelu, from Axis Capital?
Well, Axis Capital has initiated coverage and they maintain a buy stance on the stock with a target price of 1200 rupees. They also maintain estimates for ad growth to grow by 13% CAGR, and they expect FMCG ad spends to increase in FY 18 to 20. So that is the reason they are really bullish on this stock.
Moving on, Karanya, what's the call on Industar Capital?
Well, Morgan Stanley has initiated the coverage on the stock with a buy rating, and the target has been given at 650 rupees. They're very optimistic on the company's growth prospects going forward. They believe that the loan book is growing rapidly. The ROEs are a bit low at this point of time, but if you look at it from a valuation point of view, it's much lower than its peers, and it's very beneficial to invest in the stock as far as the return ratios are concerned.
And see, let's pull up that stock as well because it's on the brokerage radar. In fact, HSBC is bullish. They maintain a buy with and they are talking about the company's plans to launch 90 originals on the OTT platform. That's going to be a big boost, though they are a bit concerned about the potential investments in digital. 555 is where it's at. And last and final, NTPC, Siddharth.
Well, Lagada for stock, and you would feel that after so much of underperformance, you might hear some good news, but that's not the case. It's going down on high volumes. F&O built up of 30%, clearly suggesting these are formation of short positions. We don't see NTPC forming such high built up during intraday as well, even though it's expiry week. So more pain.
Okay, out of breath and out of time on Market Fatafat. Thanks guys for joining in. We got markets at noon coming up.